don't have time to listen to too much of that rubbish this morning. Feels like morning. I woke up, had a little nap, did the opened the desk this morning quite early. Came back, had a little kid nap. I think I'm getting old. I think I am getting old. It's getting harder and harder to do these morning shifts and back up. But we are here because I mean the market's actually a little all over the shop. You know, you've got yen strength, you've got euro weakness. That's two things that don't happen together. You've got euro yen just getting utterly destroyed. Euro yen is something I trade every now and again. Traded a lot more back in the past. It's getting a little bit tricky. It's quite weak at the moment. I do think there's opportunities coming. It's just right now I'm not sure. In terms of these trades that we had running from last week, yeah, they all ran out quite well. I'm a bit concerned about this pound. I'm a bit concerned about risk appetite in general this week. Risk appetite is quite fragile, and there's a meeting between Trump and China coming up that easily could turn into a shit show. And if that does, then you're going to see a lot of risk-off trading. And the main one, which is going to get hit in this country, which is already on the ropes, is the Aussie. Aussie was on the ropes from a little bit of weak data. You can see it rolling over here. Last little high, a little lower. I like this selling Aussie. I rolled into, not short Aussie though, I've rolled into Euro Aussie long. I think in any sort of weakness, and the main catalyst this morning was that little break above this pretty high. This is enough for me to get in. Let's come back and test it. I mean, this is textbook, right? This is textbook, you know, buying of the Euro Aussie, and it's got tremendous upside. You know, if you're looking at where we've come, dips. Aussie under pressure on each chart. Euro already under pressure, so it's got potential snapback. If people feel that the ECB stuff is underdone, your dollar yen keeps selling, risk off, then US dollar weakness has to come against something. Euro is the main place that you will see buying on risk off flows. If it's Trump related, China related, and that comes up later this week. NFP is the big change of sentiment that you can get. That's where US dollar can come back. That's, you know, you can say, well, US Fed policy is a bit behind the curve if it's strong, and get the market focused on the US economy rather than Trump or the Fed delaying. So that's a big thing which can change the whole market, but that's late in the week, and you might have more China headlines before that. That would really get the market moving. He's already had some China headlines last week where he's like, you know, talked up. He's going to be, you know, hitting up the Chinese to be more fair in their trade policies with America. He's going to try and get America producing more. That has to hurt China in terms of its production. And if there's any sort of spark or hint of trade war, or just a strong stance and, you know, retaliation from China or non-backing down from China, you know, it's a big test for how Trump handles that sort of thing, because it's it could get out of control, right? I mean, we could be sitting here next week going, wow, you know how didn't know that was going to be so negative. But, you know, the market's really high here in the stocks. If something happens in that meeting and it comes across like there's a trade war starting, that's a story which doesn't just go away in one day. You know, that's a multi-month theme, and it could have repercussions across the board if it's the start of a new trade policy from America. So let's be very alert to this as a potential major catalyst for risk off, and a major catalyst for Aussie dollar weakness. And Aussie dollar didn't need much, you know, reason to sell off. We've already had some issues with our housing here in Australia, which, you know, would have seeped across into many reports, and just your casual traders from around the world looking at our housing bubble saying, oh, you guys got issues over there. Remember the subprime, blah, blah, blah. And our credit situation is very similar, if not worse, than the US before that. And so that would already create a little bit of sell the Aussie sort of mentality, right? You don't go looking for trouble. And, you know, that with the background here of that risk off and how do you play it, that's the main way. So I've got out the pound yen, and I've got to have one of those short euro pounds. I'm still going to hold one. I'm going to move my stop to entry though. I'll look for entry points here on the pound in general, on the dip. I'm not buying just yet, but soon. And on the euro, you know, potentially as well. Let's see how we go today, right? We got to hold above 106. If we break 106, I think technically we're done. Pretty deep pullback, isn't it? You know, they really did a good job, didn't they, the ECB? Yeah, everyone settled down. Not yet. Not time to rally yet. Is basically the message that the market got. But at some point there will be a support. Yeah, it's the whole theme hasn't changed. The US dollar is still weaker, so it's the euro will have buys, will have support at some point. It's just right now we're looking for it, and it might be 105, could even be 104. I doubt we're going to parity though, without some Le Pen or the French sort of risk, or US data which is just off the charts, or inflation which is just off the charts in the US. It can happen, but it's a strange pathway. I don't think it's likely. And I don't think US dollar is going to be strong in any sort of US trade war as well. So I think the euro would enjoy gains off that. Mainly because the yen, which has sort of been weakening on the back, is a target there for US interventionists, and so is Germany. So that euro strength is natural in that environment. So it's going to be very interesting how this plays out. I don't think you can get sustained dollar yen weakness, which is looking dodgy here at the moment, and the euro sustained weakness. Well, I think one of these has got to give, and I think it's going to be the euro high, not the dollar yen low. The euro PMIs, which are coming out, are quite strong too. So let's just see how that plays out. So euro Aussie is my new trade. I like the price action, and I like the potential here, and it's a sort of trade where you got a very easy stop. Just put your stop down at either 139.20 or 139 or 138.60 if you want to have a bigger stop. I don't think you need to keep your stop down there though. Here's fine. If I'm here, it's wrong. Right? I'm just wrong. And there's a bit more Aussie strength left, or a bit more euro weakness left than expected. So yeah, looking for trades, ideas. I like that one today. But so far there hasn't been too much pre-game selling, so it's not like the market's opened up dramatically weak here for you stocks. If anything, they're stable to a little bit stronger in US stocks. So, and the DAX is continuing its ramp up higher. Helped along by the euro weakness. So there is some positive sentiment left over from last week, but we'll see. I think it is a dangerous sort of week here, and a pivotal week, right? We could be sitting back and go, remember that first weekend in April, where Trump said this, and this, and dollar yen broke 110 sort of thing, right? 110 will be the big line in the sand on any sort of risk off. You can basically use that as your little gauge. 110, we've got a problem on dollar yen if it breaks. Alright, let's have a look at some of the data out from some of the banks. It's a bit of an opening rant. How we're going to play this week. RBA is tomorrow actually for the Aussie, so that's in play too. RBA is going to be extremely neutral. I don't think you're going to get much action from it. Yeah, it's going to be all about China and NFP later. Barclays thoughts of the week. Yeah, so the Trump trade's under pressure. So President Xi Jinping is visiting the US, going to the Winter White House, his Florida hotel there, the Mar-a-Lago. I mean, even that alone is like, wow. Just have him at the White House, please. Don't take him down to your hotel, mate. He's a character, isn't he, Trump? I can't imagine anyone else getting away with some of this stuff. Yeah, the reaction to Article 50 hasn't muted, but the definitely seeing the short squeeze in the pound continue. So, yeah. For the trade of the week, the short euro pound, a bit late to that game. Sell the rumor, buy the fact, rebound in the pound. Yeah, I mean, look, it's basically going to be selling the pound when you have a headline that's worth selling. Otherwise, it'll be short squeeze in the time. So no news is good news for the pound. Take it like that. And if next time we do have a major negative headline, if the market shrugs it off, or if it drops down and comes straight back up, you have to be turning bullish. Alright, so we've got a declaration about Brexit tomorrow. Then we've got really a fairly lag between next big things happening. That's 29th, still 3 or 4 weeks away. We're going to be at 130 by then, right? And we'll be focusing on the euro later, you know, I mean later this month anyway, as it comes closer to the French elections. Where are they going? I want a short. As it broke through the 200-day moving average, 50-day moving average, 23% Fibonacci trade. Oh, yeah, it's Fibonacci trade. Yeah. Compelling. I don't like all these banks jumping onto the same trade, right? Targeting 84, that's fine. That's very similar to sort of my low. I think we might go a little bit lower than that. I think my take profit's at 84.30, 84.50. Oh, I should know that off the back of my head. 85.36, so 10 pips above the support. Alright, Congress is talking about NAFTA. That's dangerous for the Canadian dollar and the Mexican dollar, obviously. Canadian dollar's in play too. Yeah, there's no safe in those commodity currencies. Only the Kiwi probably has got a little bit of chance here. Where's the Kiwi at? Aussie Kiwi short makes sense. We missed that entry. Had a second little rally up towards 110, failed. Ooh, another little sign that the Aussie's in trouble here when the Aussie Kiwi is falling. Pound Aussie if you're more adventurous. Pound Aussie's got a lot of upside potential too. Just you got to deal with the pound and its little emotional movements. So it's not as clean, but yeah, it's definitely on the cards too. Alright, we expect lobbying efforts over the next several weeks to help bring back a reassessment of the market's expectations of negotiation, which will reflect an overestimation of the negative effect of long-run post-Brexit equilibrium value for the currency. Also recommending a long pound Aussie position. I don't have too much information on this Trump visit. It's Thursday and Friday, the Chinese visit with Trump, but perhaps there's more. Just exactly the timeline on that, so we know if it's Thursday or Friday, we should be expecting statements. South Africa got a downgrade. This is, on the back of the political uncertainty that's going through that country, and you got the sort of the main party fracturing a little bit here, and you can see that coming through. It's starting to really get aggressive here. This is, near a 10% move here on the dollar ZAR higher. I don't know, it's not really my game, emerging markets, and I haven't really paid attention. Look, I should have bought this just straight off when there was big smoke. There must be a fire coming early last week. It's definitely been something that's been discussed for a few months that it was coming. Got a few South African clients who talked to me about it, and it's not looking pretty over there. Actually, they've got some pretty crazy policies about confiscating white farmers' land and redistribution, and sort of Zuma's agenda could get derailed, and he might get forced out if he loses support of his party. And the finance minister he's sacked has got to definitely he has some high level support, including the deputy prime minister. Pound Kiwi. Pound Kiwi still is topside as well, right? But it's much more dangerous than Pound Aussie, you'd expect. You don't need to go looking to sell the Kiwi when you can sell the Aussie. Yeah, no, it could be a bit more of a fair fight, Pound Kiwi. But yeah, you'd think the Kiwi would still go down in sympathy with the Aussie, just slower. Any sort of issues with China. Right, so dollar yen here, little outlook came out today from Deutsche Bank, interesting. Alright, before we resume this uptrend in the medium term, we think dollar yen will likely be capped in the near term. Looking at range of 111 plus and minus 3, so 108 to the downside. Concerns about the Trump trade, I suppose, are the main issue. Fourth, it will be difficult to build dollar yen longs this month before the US-China summit meetings, yeah, and release of the US Treasury's exchange rate report. And then another Japan-US economic dialogue meeting. Jesus. So all of that is very dangerous here for the yen, who's also, you know, Japan's also, you know, before China, they were the boogeyman in the market, right? Look what they're doing to their currency, to make their cars cheaper. Alright, although dollar yen's bullish trend path remains alive, this is true, there's no deciding factors that boost it again. So you might have to get to the second half of the year, right, where they're talking about raising rates and yields start to rise again in the US before we can get long. We assume the rate will not stay below 110 for long. We see it recovering to 112, 115 to 120 in 3 to 6 months. Yeah, I mean, look, if there is some risk off flow and it goes down to, you know, quite low, I think it's quite quite good buying on the dips. So is euro yen. Greatest risk to this trade, to this course of policy, or to this view, is the course policy failure for the Trump administration. In the midterm, a major focus on policy decision-making process. So everyone's watching closely this week, I believe, for what's happening over there in the US. I think risks are much more skewed to the downside. Stock markets aren't showing it. US 10-year stable, but we're still well below 2.5. You know, you know, if we see them break down below 2.3, then it's got a bit of an air pocket, right, to get down to 2. So there's that risk as well. That's some other reports that weren't really on topic though. I'm not too keen to go into them. Let's see if I can find one or two more. And I have to put this trade up. Let's see if I can do this better today. I haven't been doing this well. I'm pretty sure you can just cut and paste the image into the Forex signals. We definitely used to be able to. Just don't know if I'm cutting and pasting the right one. Yeah, pound CAD's a good one as well. You can buy at spot, that's fine. Stop loss was set at 139.26. Just say 139.30. Take profit, we're going to go for 143. Buying on AUD weakness and potential safe haven flow from Chinese negotiations. And the price action on the chart alone. Alright, easy as that, guys. Easy as that. So where you got that little chart from, I'm stealing that little image. Once you do your save as file, it does create a little file on the mql5.com. Just cut and paste that little image there, and it works that easy. Yeah, everything's pretty easy actually. It's quite a good system. Aussie's been a hard thing to sell though in the past, you know, it's stubborn. Timing it is hard. I think the timing's right here, but you never know. Alright, we'll do a quick little search here on this Morgan Stanley FX Pulse. I like this update. I like this this report. Alright, dollar yen's cleanest trade, huh? Okay, not at the moment. Our investors were long euros too early, me included. Euro has to trade accordingly. Recent ECB communication expressing unease about recent rising euro market rates and yields tell us little. Alright, the cool down in China related commodities recently eased some of the upward pressure in the Aussie. Bulk commodity prices and interest rate differential remain fundamentally opposing forces for the AD, so we're talking about US raising rates and Aussie not. Further downside commodities on the horizon, which is pretty much a broad view taken by a lot of banks that, you know, iron ore and copper are going to come down. Then we remain sellers of the Aussie targeting 69. That's pretty bearish. That's out there, right? That's getting there. Euro Aussie would be 150 on that sort of scenario. 150 plus, 155. China may turn Aussie into a funding currency. Falling China-related commodities should put AED under pressure. Our main section dives deep into AED fundamentals, going beyond commodity angle. All in all, we expect the Aussie followed by the Kiwi to convert into funding currencies. I'll go into this a little bit more later by myself, see what the hell they're talking about. That's Never heard them call that before. Right, so iron ore's starting to come down. Aussie dollar compared to the 2-year rate haven't been tracking lately. Hasn't been tracking the US dollar yield increase. Bloody hell. Look at the iron ore import. Look at the iron ore just held at ports. Yeah, something's wrong there. This is really bearish, eh? Pretty in depth at talking about why Aussie dollar's in trouble. Which of their clients read this and go, yeah, this is, I mean, this is fairly, they got the mad kid to write this. We'll go into that a little bit more later. Over time. Yeah, we've got to get past the RBA tomorrow. That's not going to be crazy. Alright, so all in all, guys, you know, this week could be pivotal. I mean, it could be another false start then if things go well. Over there in China, US negotiations, but it could be the flashpoint as well. So it's definitely keep on your toes. I don't mind looking for the downside in the Aussie as well. I'm choosing the Euro to be the way to get that at the moment. Relatively tight stop on the Euro Aussie, only 100 pips. That's not a very big stop there. And if we're wrong, it's probably a timing thing more than anything else. So it's not the worst trade. Not the worst trade to keep looking at. The pair, just keep looking at it to find its support below this sort of level on the Euro Aussie. You know, it's not too much lower to get those serious levels. Down here at 138, where it failed last time. That's where we'll be looking as well. Now, if you guys have any pairs you want me to look at over the coming days, just send me a little PM. We'll probably be taking Thursday off and doing the NFP live, and so the NFP will be the main event that we'll be trading live, but we'll also do the Trump update on that day as well. I haven't decided yet, you know, which day I'm going to take off, but either Wednesday or Thursday. Depends how the Trump negotiations are sort of teaming up. I might do the Thursday just to give an update there and take off Wednesday. But yeah, no, it should be a very interesting week here, and perhaps pivotal. Otherwise, you know, probably won't be breaking any ranges or any sort of major news. I can't see a strong NFP changing the game too quickly, but it could just provide support and help the dollar yen go into range. It won't be alone enough to get the market keen to say break 112.50 or 113, but it might just definitely put the bottom in at the 110 level if it's threatened. Alright guys, good luck with your trades. Keep an eye on the news.